Welcome to Beyond the Mom Life, the podcast where motherhood and the business world collide, with your host, Heather Ioerger.
Welcome to the Beyond the Mom Life podcast. Today, I am joined by a very special guest, Miss Laura Rike. She is the Pinterest queen, as I like to call her. She has some signature framework that she uses on Pinterest to really help her clients grow that platform. And did you know you can even use Pinterest for advertising for your business? Who knew? I didn't understand that there's actually ads and different things like that that you can do on Pinterest because there's more to it than just searching for things. You can actually use it as a business owner. So there's so much to learn today from you, Laura. I'm so excited to have you on. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yay. Well, let's dive in a little bit. Let's talk about Laura Reich. So, where you started, I know that you've been in business now for over 10 years, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
Almost
over 10 years.
13.
And you started out actually as a virtual assistant. So, tell us a little bit about how that started.
Yeah, so I actually went to school for graphic design originally, and I fell in love with it. When I was out of school, I realized that it wasn't as challenging in the industry that I was in. So I was getting kind of burnt out with it. I decided I wanted to go back to school online. My first son was about 2 years old. And so we did online schooling and I went back for business and marketing. So I have a degree in advertising design now. From that, my school helped us like place with someone to get real life experience. And after that real life experience as an intern, she immediately hired me on virtually. And I was like, this is awesome. And so I
Nice.
kind of got like leaped into this virtual assistant back when it was not as prominent as today. And I loved it. But my family hit a roadblock and my son came up to me. We've all heard stories like this. It really did happen. My son came up to me. He was probably about 4, and he shut my laptop and he looked at me and he goes, "Why are you always on this?" And I was,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry. Like working from home was supposed to be better. Like we were supposed to have
Yeah.
more time together." So I started to kind of refine who I would work with because I started taking on too many people just to be able to provide for the family. And it was really money focused rather than
Mm,
family focused.
mm,
So
yeah.
yeah, so we decided to pick something that I love doing, which ended up back then, Pinterest was invite only. And it was really fun to combine my love and background in graphic design with something for my clients that would bring in results for them. And so I didn't go into it right away. I did still kind of dabble in like, oh, but they need me from VA over here. But for probably about the past 6 years, I have been doing Pinterest only, and it's been amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot about the days that Pinterest was invite only. It was invite only and it was like a big deal. You had to put your name in and try to get a Pinterest account. And then when you got that email saying, "Hey, you're accepted, you can come in the Pinterest world." That was such a huge deal all those
Yeah.
years ago. We forget that, right? Nowadays and age, it's like you go to Pinterest, you're looking for something, where do you go? Probably Pinterest, especially design ideas. Like there's so many different things that you go to Pinterest for help for. So, one thing you've taught me is Pinterest is more than just a platform that you can learn things on, but there's so much more to Pinterest. So,
Yep.
talk a little bit about what exactly Pinterest does for your clients.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I work with entrepreneurs and content creators so that they can get more sales and sign more clients with it. It's not the DIY crafts, it's not things like that anymore. That's kind of the misnomer that people think, but really it is a search-based platform. And so it works just like Google or Bing or any of those other searches that you would go to and be like, I need this, I need help with this. How do I learn this, right? As long as you're providing support, taking away pain, or answering a question, you should be on Pinterest because people will go there to plan, like, oh, I'm going to do a landing page. I need a copywriter. what are the best copywriting tips, right? So that I know when I'm hiring someone, they know what they're talking about. Maybe it's just I need to learn how to be a better copywriter, things like that. And they're going to go to Pinterest and they're going to start looking and they're going to find the resources to be able to help them right then and there, which is amazing because you don't have to basically sell them twice, right? They already know that they want this, so they're already aware of the problem that they have. They just need that solution. And as long as you're on there, you can be that solution for them.
Yeah, I love that. And that's stuff I never knew before
Mm.
meeting you last year when you and I met, and my business really wasn't on Pinterest at all. I had no place on Pinterest, I didn't think, because I owned a virtual assistant agency. I am a business process strategist. That is what I do. So why would people want to look for me on Pinterest? But guess what? They
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And you have really helped me grow my Pinterest account to exponential amounts compared to where it was. And there's so much growth, so much happening on Pinterest. And I love it because, yes, people do come there. They do want to search for how do you do these processes in your business? What tasks do you have a virtual assistant do? And those kind of things I can help them with. And so they're actually
Yep.
going to Pinterest and looking for that. And I love that. So if somebody new listening today is thinking, okay, I have a business already, I'm not currently on Pinterest, what types of businesses do you think do well on Pinterest?
That's a great question. The way that I default to those individuals asking that is I just say, go to Pinterest, go to the search bar of the platform, and then type in the key phrases that you are known for or want to be known for, right? And so if you do that, and there's content that pulls up underneath that search, the first 10 pins, and it's relative to what you teach, products you provide, courses you offer, or services you offer, then you should be on Pinterest too because people are searching for that right now. And it's a huge thing. I mean, even when we started working with you, right? Like
Yeah.
I just pulled up in the last 60 days, you're up 164% in traffic to your website from Pinterest.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy. It's
you
crazy.
don't have a physical product or like a art, right? Or like
Yeah.
a recipe. It is like physical services and courses and programs that you offer that people are finding you for. And so that's really my non-biased way to say, like, I'm not going to tell you your business is perfect. Let Pinterest tell you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. A lot of people also get hung up in creating posts on Pinterest. Like they want it to look perfect. And we think of Pinterest as being this visual website you go to that you can see all this perfect stuff behind the scenes. Is that really true? Do you have to create perfect posts on Pinterest, or is there a strategy, or how do we do that?
Yeah, so you touched on it in the beginning. I have a framework that we call growth to greatness. So the pin design is only one piece of the puzzle. If you are not a designer, there are plenty of templates online, including myself, that are out there that you can use and then just change it to your branding, right? So you don't have to be a graphic designer. You don't have to be an artist to make this work. But having a pin design is just one slice of the pizza. You also have to make sure you're focusing on the keywords, just like SEO. There's something that I attribute to color SEO on the platform
Mm.
and just being found when they're typing in those words that you want to be known for. There's other things such as make sure you have call to actions, make sure that you're talking to them like a human, right? And then so many more other things that you can do in terms of how often to schedule and stuff like that. So it doesn't have to be a perfect image, a perfect picture, a even for product-based business owners, right? You don't have to put your product on the pin. You can just do a text overlay with a background color. It doesn't have to be fancy. You just have to be able to make sure that basically you're speaking the love language in your title and call to action to the viewer you're trying to reach. If you can capture them with that, then it doesn't matter what it looks like.
That's awesome. And I think, that really ties into some of the myths out there when it comes to Pinterest. So everybody has their opinion of how things should look on any social media platform, any search platform. They have their opinion on, okay, it needs to look like this or be like this or be posted like this. What are the top myths that you hear as a Pinterest designer agency owner? What are people saying that's actually not true?
Yeah. One of the big ones out there right now is just grab a link, post it up there, and you're going to get all this traffic or you're going to get all this affiliate marketing sales. It's like easy as one, two, three, right? And there's more to it than that. Yes, you can, by all means, if you're just getting started, post your blog links up there, post your podcast links up there, but give yourself time to learn the system and to be consistent with it. Because the big thing going around right now on like TikTok and Reels is you grab a link, you take the product picture, you put it on Pinterest, and you just sit and wait. That's really not gonna help you at all, whether it is MLM, whether it is affiliate marketing, or whether you're trying to market your services. You're gonna have to have a more in-depth strategy than that. So I think that's one of the biggest ones. The other one I know a lot of people still talk about is you have to pin like 50 times a day to be seen in the algorithm. And that's not the case either. If you are focusing on quality and you are focusing on a specific key phrase that you want to rank for, and you have the other types of strategy pieces to the puzzle, you'll be just fine. I have clients that do just fine with 4 to 5 pins a day, and then other clients that are at 15, right? So there's not a magic number or a magic time for you to be on the platform.
Okay, so with that being said, I love that information you just gave. I hear often about influencers online who are talking about, oh, it's amazing. You can just go to Pinterest and pin your affiliate link, and boom, people are going to buy these products from you, and you're suddenly going to get rich. I love that you are saying, no, that is not the case. That is not what you've seen.
So,
You've been in Pinterest for many years. You know the reality. So please don't get sold on that advice. That is just not good advice to listen to.
no.
And the other thing about this is that you are understanding that people don't have all the time in the world to keep posting. So if say I have no time to post, I can make some graphics, get them out there. Are there tools that we can use for posting?
Yeah, 100%. One that is free that people can use is Pinterest. Pinterest allows you to schedule on their platform, just like any other platform out there, right? You have the ability to use it dynamically with them. The downfall of that is they only let you go like 3 weeks, depending on how many pins that you have. Sometimes you can get out to a month, but if you're really trying to make use of the repurposing aspect with the rest of your strategy, scheduling on Pinterest directly is going to be a little bit more difficult to keep up with. There are ways to track it, and you can do that. The other options that you have is you can actually go to Pinterest website and they have API approved schedulers. So you can look at schedulers like Tailwind, Planoly, Later, things like that, and see if they are approved partners by Pinterest, then yes, go ahead and use them. Any other partners can have the API to use their code and schedule to the platform, but if they're not listed under their preferred approved partners, then you run the risk of being flagged for spam or getting taken down altogether because you're not following the best practices that they put out there.
Oh my goodness, that is such good information to know. I would have had no clue. And I know you and I had talked last year because I was using a scheduler and I said, "Oh, Laura, this is good. I can use this for Pinterest." And she said, "Do not use that for Pinterest. Even though they say it's okay to use for Pinterest, don't do it because of that exact reason. You may get flagged as spam. You may not be shown on people's feeds and things like that." So those are really, really important tips to know. So let's turn this around a little bit and talk about the number one most important job in your life. And that is obviously being a mom and why you're here on
Yeah.
this show with us today. So you talked about a little earlier about having that 2-year old, that 4-year old who felt like you were constantly working. And that's what you wanted to get away from. You wanted to get away from that feeling for your kids that you weren't there for them. You needed to provide a more stable, a more secure environment for them that they didn't feel like you were working, that they felt like your number one job was being there with them. How many kids do you have now?
I have 3.
3.
Yep, I
Yeah.
have 16, currently 7, and 3-year-old.
Wow. So you're busy. You are busy.
Yes. Yep, in 3 different directions.
Yes, at all times, probably. And so, especially with that 3-year-old at home, how do you make this work? How do you make it work with owning your own agency? I know that you have multiple employees that work for you, but how do you make this work
Yeah,
as a mom?
I think the biggest thing that I learned is setting aside a very strict schedule. So if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't get done. If it needs to be, I have actually kind of a crazy looking calendar, but it's amazing where I use Google Calendar. And so if it's self-care, I have it blocked off. If it's lead generation, there is a specific block for lead generation throughout the week. Providing membership calls or onboarding or just anything, right? Delivery of services or products or things like that that I've promised people, making sure that I have specific times blocked off for that so that I know this is exactly what I'm going to be getting into this day, this week. I think the other thing that I really love, I started about 5 or 6 years ago when my second was a baby, is I take Tuesdays off.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was just a random day. I just take a random day off. They don't go to daycare that day. Now the 6-year-old, now 7, is actually in first grade. So I do it with the 3-year-old, but it's just a day to be present with the kids all day. Like this week, we actually went to an open gymnastics area and she just played for 2 hours, right? She loved it. She had a blast. Then when I'm doing dinner and other things later, she doesn't feel like I wasn't there. So
Yeah.
to be able to give my family a break like that while also knowing I'm just not going to schedule anything that day has been super, super helpful. I know there's no way I would be able to take Tuesdays off if I didn't have a very amazing support system behind me in terms of the agency. So, I mean, we work together. So I have a BAM
Yeah.
who is absolutely amazing to do tasks that I don't need to be present for. And they can work throughout the week for me, even if I have Tuesday off. My account managers, like just the system that we have taken time to set up in the background has been really great to be able to help with that. And then they also have their own calendars, right? So
Yeah.
having the membership calls, having learning and prep time, putting in self-care, like it's very important to make sure that you have it blocked off. Otherwise, in my case, I just would do work or get distracted with something else. And then the end of the day would come and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even finish out this affiliate launch that I needed to get by tomorrow. And then I would feel bad because do I stop? Do I cook
Right.
dinner? Do I play with the kids? Do I finish what I was supposed to do? So it just made it a lot simpler for our family to be able to be very, very strict on what goes into my calendar.
Yeah, so boundaries. So I'm hearing
Yeah.
lots of boundaries there, which I absolutely love. And I think even for me, and the reason that my virtually organized business was born had to do so much with that mom time that I needed
Yeah.
and needing to start hiring people into my business who could take those tedious tasks off my plate, free up that time, and allow me to be able to set those boundaries. Because I feel like, especially when you're first in business, or you've had a business for a little while, but you haven't taken that step to hire help yet.
Mhm.
It's very hard to set those boundaries, especially when you have a client trying to reach you after hours and it's an emergency. We've all had that client who've reached out, it's an emergency. Is it really an emergency? Probably not. But in their eyes, it's an emergency. And you feel like as the business owner, you need to go fix that right away because you want all your clients to be happy. But I
Yeah,
love that
100%.
you just aren't checking things, right? You're just leaving all those messages to the side. And that's what I eventually learned to do was you have to leave all that to the side. You have to, even though you physically can't step out of a work office because it's virtually or it's, constantly connected to your phone, you have to turn those notifications off on the ways
Yeah.
that the clients can contact you.
Yeah, and it's not something that happened overnight, right? Like
Yeah.
learning the organizational chart that I wanted internally for my business was a process. And so if someone here is like listening and they're like, well, but I have all those people and I still feel like I'm not there, keep tweaking, right?
Yeah.
Because it takes time to find that fit, so I feel like it's not only boundaries, but it's also perseverance. Like, don't give up on what your goal is, what your dream is, because you set out, like you said, to
Yeah.
start this business because of a reason. So hold on to that. And then I think the other thing too is just give yourself grace. Like there have been probably in the past 5 years, there have been Tuesdays I've been working. I know it. Like I
Yeah.
know I've done and opened my laptop here or there, but it's planned at a point where I've already spent the time that I had with my children or with my family. So like she's napping and I'm like, "Oh, okay, now I can quick get something done." Like
Right.
it's not gonna be perfect, but it's perfect for me, right? Perfectly imperfect is what we say at my house.
Yeah.
Is it may not be perfect for someone else, but for us, it's just what we needed.
I love that. Perfectly imperfect. That's how it is being a mom, being a business owner. That's life, right? It's perfectly
Yes.
imperfect to you. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. So, one thing that we really haven't discussed yet, a lot of mom entrepreneurs who own their own business, run their own business from home, their kids see them running that business.
Mhm.
Their kids either grow up with the idea that, hey, I want to do like mom does, I want to own my own business, or they grow up and think, yeah, I never want to do that because I see how hard my mom works. How do you feel like that's fitting in your family? Do you feel like you're really leaving a legacy for your children by owning your own business? What are they learning from you?
Yeah, that's a great question and super relevant right now. My 16-year-old definitely is more on the side of I am going to do my own and I'm gonna create my own agency. And he's not sure what. I'm not supporting that. I am trying to guide him to the right direction. Like I did have some support and some schooling and I understand business and things like that. So I think he's going to need a little bit more direction when that comes. He's definitely gone the drop shipping route to start learning how to build websites and like he's done all these different ventures, which has been great for him to learn. So we're definitely right in the thick of it right now with him. I think me working from home definitely shows boundaries to the kids as well, whether that translates to when you do your homework, how much time do you have to play with friends? So that's been really cool to be able to help them realize why we set those kind of boundaries. And then alongside of that, with everything else that's going on, our kids and I also have a blog that we do as a family. And so it's littlefamilylegacy.com. And what we do is a ton of crafts and a ton of activities as a family, whether it's inside or outside, it doesn't matter. A lot of times we try to figure out things with the materials that we have at home already, so you don't have to like go out and purchase all these things. And so for them to be able to see the fun that we're having and also build something on the back end of that, I think is also really helpful in terms of just the balance between life and work and play and how to be able to make an impact in other people's lives. And I mean, it's just a little family blog, but we love it and we continue to do it together and see where it goes.
I love that. So you're really teaching them exactly the fundamentals that it takes to have their own business or begin some sort of entrepreneurial journey if
Yeah.
that's what they want to do. So
Yeah,
I love that.
100%. And my husband is 100% fully supporting that as well. He works a 9 to 5, but he is all self-taught. So he actually didn't go to college for what he is doing. It's typically a college degree. And so it's really important for us to have them choose their own way that they want to learn because not everybody's going to learn the same way, whether
Oh,
it's
amen
sitting
to
in a
that.
classroom or behind a computer or I mean, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're fully on board with however the kids want to learn, just as long as they have this drive and this passion for something, then as long as we can get them to find what that is, I feel like we've done our job.
Amazing. Amazing. So good. Well, thank you so much, Laura, for all
Yeah.
your tips and tricks to Pinterest and just the tips on the motherhood journey as well. We totally appreciate you being here today and helping us with all of this great information. So, if people are interested in learning more about you and your services or just Pinterest in general, where should we send them?
Yeah, you can go to laurarike.com, LAURARIKE /podcast. And there's a bunch of different free resources for you on that page. We have an upcoming training that you can sign up for on that page. Everything's in there. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
I love it. And we will have all that in our show notes as well. So,
perfect.
thank you again so much. And until next time, keep dreaming, keep striving, and let's soar beyond the mom life together.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Beyond the Mom Life with Heather Ioerger. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.